I'm Richard Lung, Visa's international economist. In today's edition, we'll be discussing the future of global travel and tourism. One of the most remarkable changes that we expect over the next decade is that there will be more people traveling globally than ever before. We expect by the year 2025, there's going to be 282 million households that will be taking an international trip. That's about 1 in every 8 families globally. Who's traveling is actually going to be changing as well. Whereas in the past, it's been mainly people from the developed economies of the world, Europe and the United States. In the future, we're expecting more and more travelers to come from the Asia-Pacific region, especially China. The most important trend in the Visa travel study that we found was that the rising middle classes around the world are going to be taking their first trips globally, which is going to lead to this explosive growth we're expecting. When we looked back in time, in 1966, a travel expert at the time said that the average household in the United States needed to earn about $10,000 in order to afford to travel internationally. In today's dollars, that's about $70,000. Now fast forward to today, our study showed that it was only about $20,000 that was needed for a family to be able to travel internationally. $20,000 may seem like a very low threshold for international travel, especially if you come from places like the United States. But when we look around globally, families that are in places like China and Brazil, a $20,000 income can actually afford them many of the luxuries of the world, and they would be considered upper middle class. As economies grow and incomes begin to rise, that's helping to bring up the standard of living for many people around the world. By the year 2025, we expect emerging markets to account for about slightly less than half of all travelers globally. This new traveling class is going to have a deep impact on the global economy through the amount of money that they spend on international travel, which we expect by the year 2025 to reach $1.5 trillion. In the case of China, we're looking at spending by the Chinese tourists to go up 86% over the next decade, reaching $255 billion in 2025. As these new traveling class households begin to engage in cross-border travel, that will lead to increased economic growth and opportunity in a number of key destination locations, as well as increased jobs and other economic benefits. Focusing in on accessibility as well as convenience will be key for travel destinations in order to fully capitalize on the inflow of new tourists coming forward. This travel study is just the beginning of more to come on the future of travel and tourism for Visa. Our rich VisaNet data will enable new opportunities for insights into this important sector of the economy.